And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Let's start off with the warnings and watches, or warnings and watches. We've got a flood watch up here continuing for the Kobuk Valley, Ambler area, Bettles, Koyukuk Valley, and the southeastern Brooks Range toward Arctic Village, out for another couple of days. A flood warning now for the southern Susitna River and its tributaries, with flooding occurring along the Yentna, Squitna, and Little Susitna River, as well as the lower end of the Susitna River itself, and that's out until 8 p.m. Wednesday. And from there, today's fire danger, today's forecast for Wednesday, shows a little bit of an expanded area here from what it was today due to the dry conditions and breezy, windy conditions, with little, if any, additional precipitation. Temperatures still rising into the 70s there this afternoon. In fact, Eagle was up to 81 degrees. Otherwise, pretty low everywhere else around the state. Satellite imagery showing another band coming up Cook Inlet, actually extending from the northern Kuskokwim Valley down across the Kenai Peninsula there. This area here brought some moisture in earlier today, and then a break behind that this morning here for south central Alaska. This area shifting up into the Tanana Valley there, with clouds extending all the way up through the central interior to the Arctic coast. Another band right through here will be rolling up Cook Inlet this evening and actually across all the southwest interior again. And a third one here will be following that in. And then down here to the south, you can see the cloud shield with the next big storm that's going to bring gale and storm force winds into the central Aleutians later tonight and tomorrow, especially tomorrow. And rolling the loop here, you can see here's one low here coming up to the eastern Aleutians, another weak system up here with a front extending southeastward, areas of rain and showers across a good portion of southern Alaska today. And not much precipitation in this Copper River Basin occurring, but along the North Gulf Coast, rain there, Seward, Whittier, Kenai, Soldotna this afternoon, but ending at Homer for today. Some showers up over the northern and northeast part of the state with that trough up there. Fair amount of clearing back here to the northwest into the northern Bering Sea areas. And looking at the forecast for tonight, we'll see the next storm starting to come onto the map here with the warm front still south of the Aleutians. Start to see late tonight an increase in the northeast winds of Adak and Atka, but the big wind increase won't come until tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we still have this weak low over the Alaska Peninsula, periods of light rain, fog, and drizzle, creating IFR flying conditions for much of Bristol Bay, the Aleutian Range, Alaska Peninsula area. Some of that moisture sneaking up to southern Kodiak Island. This next front comes up northward tonight and weakens, so rain changing to showers later tonight here for Cook Inlet, drying out over the southwest interior areas, and then more rain pushing into mainly the northern Panhandle, North Gulf Coast area. Showers central interior here, dry out to the Arctic coast. And then for tomorrow, here's that 960 millibar low coming up just south of Adak and Atka, actually just south of Atka Island. So that puts Adak in some very strong northeast winds there, gusts 65 miles an hour, maybe even 70 miles an hour, with storm warnings and gale warnings associated with this. Rain spreading northward with a warm front into the Kenai Peninsula in the afternoon. Otherwise, areas of weakening fronts here in a couple of troughs. Keep it cloudy and occasionally wet over much of southern Alaska, with a lot of showers now over the central interior, but Brooks Range to the Arctic coast stays dry, and showers and areas of rain for the southeast coast. And then for Thursday, improvement here over the Panhandle with just some lingering showers over toward the border, pretty scattered in nature. And then rain and wind here coming up to the North Gulf Coast. Very windy conditions with periods of rain, south central Alaska and the western Alaska Range as well. This low tracking northward there toward Kuskokwim Bay, just west-southwest of Cape Newenham tomorrow for Thursday afternoon. And the front spreading a lot of rain up into the southwest interior. A good shot of solid rain coming in with this feature, and some precipitation all the way up to the western Brooks Range now. But the northeast part of the state, same pretty much dry and a little cooler though. Chance of showers over the eastern Arctic coast into the eastern Brooks Range, but that'll be light. And for the lows tonight, in the 30s from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, 40s and 50s south of that area, with mid to upper 40s out over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians, and mid to upper 50s for the southeast coast. Highs tomorrow, lower 60s here for the Panhandle, and mostly in the 55 to 60 degree range, south central Alaska, mid 60s Copper River Basin. Definitely cooler tomorrow, 65 to 70 over the eastern interior from what you had today, cooler that is, and upper 50s to the west, upper 40s around St. Lawrence Island, and lower 50s for the Bering Sea and the Aleutians, and 40s for the North Slope and the Arctic coast. Followed by lows in the 30s here, again, 30s to lower 40s, Brooks Range of the Arctic coast, and mostly in the 40s here for the remainder of Alaska, still staying in the 50s here for the Panhandle, lower 50s for the Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutian areas right around 50 degrees, and then the highs for Thursday afternoon, 60 to 65 now for the eastern interior. In fact, down to about 60 there for Tanana, upper 50s or in the 50s here over the western interior from Bristol Bay right up to the Arctic coast there, and upper 50s, mid to upper 50s, south central Alaska, near 60 for Homer, 62 for Kodiak, and in the lower 60s for the southeast coast.